any general thoughts and comments about today's game?
Yeah, I mean, it was an exercise in hockey where we get a chance to find out a little bit more about ourselves. I think the first thing that jumps at me that all three goalies played well today. Right off the bat, Mia in the second period had to deal with a breakaway, and then she made a real nice stop up high. I thought Victoria and Aaron were both composed and controlled the puck pretty well, and we're there for 30 or 30-something saves today, all total between the three. And I think Victoria was under a little bit of a barrage early, so that was probably the shining light for my money. And probably we got a little better. We were, maybe not all there in the beginning. We weren't quite ready for a game. That team's had 3 or 4 games under their belt, and they were a little bit more together as a team and even individually. So, to have that kind of behind us, at least we've got something to look at, something to work with that will help us evaluate where we've got to go from here and, how people play.
When we spoke earlier this week, Coach, you said about this game is first a time for somebody to separate themselves from others. If you could pick somebody that separated themselves today in your eyes, who would it be?
I mean, I thought Rebecca Russo played at a very, very good pace today, and I also think Sarah Steele played very well. And I think Sarah's an important kid who we want to see take a jump. Last year, she was a regular, but I think sometimes we kept her off of special teams and didn't have as big a role. But I think this year we need her to take a jump, and that's usually through confidence. And she played a lot last year, and she did a lot of good things, but gaining a little more confidence can only help her. And sometimes you go from first year to second year, you realize it's the same game you played before you got here. It's a whisker quicker, but they're great athletes, and they adjust, and I think she will too.
The first period, Coach, you guys had a few chances, but in the second period you really refined your attack. What sort of adjustments did you make in between periods?
I don't think we made any adjustments other than we had to try to play at a different tempo, and we got a nice break that, Kayla was able to, find that upper corner on a great individual shot that gave us a lead because, had they gotten just 1 goal in the first period, this game is going to be a nail-biter right to the end. But because that didn't happen, our goalies made a couple of saves. They might have shot a couple wide or whatever. We were able to build a 1-2 and ultimately a 3-0 lead. So we didn't do anything different other than I think we were a little bit more thorough. And then we got a couple loose pucks, which, Maddie Ilya spun around and just turned the third one in the net, and the second one she hit the brakes, came back up, used her reach to tuck the puck in on the second goal. So those were a couple of, particularly the second one was a nice individual effort by her, and the after a turnover that I think Lil caused, she just spun around and fired one in the net.
Talking about Maddie, she did score twice, but she was also in the penalty box 3 times today. What did you think of her performance?
Nice to get 2 goals, but I'm more concerned with what people control and what they can control, and I think she's got to control the penalties. You can't get bad penalties, you can't get stick penalties, and you can't get selfish penalties that you're bumping somebody late in the game when you just have to defend. And that's something that myself as a coach I've got to be accountable for. That people are held accountable, and a couple things we're working on this year is not giving up goals because we gave up 2-8 last year, decreasing our penalty minutes, and winning the penalty game so that each game they have more penalties than you have. I think that's how to define it because every game has a different temperament to it, and if it's a game where there's very few penalties, then you got to beat them 2-1. If there's a game where there's a number of penalties, then you've got to beat them 6-4, 6-5, whatever it is. But always come up on the upside, and I don't think that happened enough last year. We've got to make sure that happens this year, throughout the year.
I'm all set.
Just one last thing. What did you think of the penalty kill? And also, you had a 5-3 at one point in the game, but failed to convert. A few nice shots, but nothing in. What did you think of the penalty kill and the?
It's so early for special teams. We actually practiced killing penalties a little bit more because we were trying to show the kids what we do, which is usually a pretty aggressive style. Some teams just try to stay in the lane, bunch 4 people down low, but we try to go after you and get clears. forces us to use up a little bit more energy, but hopefully we have success. And I think today, relatively speaking, we did a pretty good job on the power play. We moved the puck around pretty well a couple times, got some shots up high, but we had people all over the ice, not quite certain whether I should be over here or over there, and that's just because we haven't practiced, not because they're not good hockey players or smart hockey players, but power play, you do have to get used to where people are, where they're going to be, and there were a couple of beautiful passes that created sort of backdoor opportunities. I remember, I think Sarah had a pretty good look late in the game, Rebecca Russo had a one-timer early, so that takes a little bit more time and work, where penalty kill's a little more of an assertive thing, covered ground, and so that was a good one. Power play, we've got work to be done as well.